found the GroomPod. Welcome to our virtual salon. My name is Susie, and I'm your host. I'm a mobile groomer from Seattle, Washington, and anybody who knows me will tell you I love to talk, especially about my job. And one of my favorite people to talk to is my friend and mentor and the co-star of this show, the curator of ingredients, Miss Barbara Bird.
Hey, Susie, I'm so happy to be back with you and with our listeners. Hey, what's up?
And with Dana, the cat lady. Welcome to the repeat of the Dana Chavez episode. It's 428 of the GroomPod, recorded on November 10th, 2024 in Snohomish, Washington, Simpsonville, South Carolina, and Sacramento, California. This podcast is brought to you by our kind sponsors, Best Shot, Show Season, Precision Sharp, Groomore, and Stasco. And if you guys would like to support the show, you can do it at our website, thegroompod.com, and use the donation button, and that money's going straight to Barbara. Or you can use the Patreon button, which will take you to Patreon. You can subscribe there. So this week on the GroomPod, we're talking to Dana Chavez-Rey, the cat lady. And there will be no What's New, but if there was a What's New, it would be brought to you by Groomore Software. If you haven't found Groomore, you're missing out. Groomore is an all-in-one software solution for your grooming business. Whether you are a solo mobile groomer or manage several shops, Groomore has everything you need. 24-hour online booking and forms, routing, credit card processing, reminders, Google Calendar and QuickBooks integration, and so much more. And the best customer service anywhere. Shop, mobile, or house call, Groomore has you covered. And they're giving us a free month. Just enter GroomPod22 in the coupon code. Did you know that Stasco has come out with a couple of new products? First, there's the Stasco Oatmeal Protein Conditioner. This conditioner provides exceptional body and manageability and super shiny finishes. And it has a wonderful apple scent that I love. Great in the recirculator, too. And they have a new matching protein conditioning spray, dematting, anti-static conditioning, and finishing all in one, just like the original Stasco spray, but with that delicious apple fragrance. Look for these new products at trade shows and your favorite distributors like Cascade Grooming Supplies. Ready, groomers? Here comes our first appointment. For those guys who haven't met her yet, Dana is a very popular speaker. She's seen everywhere online, doing all kinds of neat online things, just like this video today. And she takes her two cats, Captain and Anchor, with her almost everywhere. So you can see her roaming the trade show floors with the kitties. And today I thought we'd take a great opportunity to recreate the absolutely spectacular conversation we had 2 weeks ago when our audio pooped the bed and the video got lost, and that will not be happening this time. We are recording in both.
We're recording, right?
Yes, two spots. Dana, tell us a little bit about how you got started cat grooming.
Oh my goodness. First and foremost, thank you so much. I'm a little nervous because Barbara is on with us today. She is a legend, but not taking away from Susie as well. So thank you so much for having me. How did I get started? Well, if you ask my parents will tell you it started at 3. From the moment I could walk and speak, I wanted to be just submerged in anything animal. So thank goodness I had the wonderful parents that I did, and any books, videos, educational things, trips that they could take me on that would educate me on anatomy, physiology, behavior, even medicine, they were all for, because they knew how passionate I was about animal care, emphasis on cats. I have always had the gaga gene for cats my entire life. I always tell people I'm 3rd generation cuckoo for cats. And I absolutely love everything about them. So as a little one, I went ahead and volunteered for my local shelter. And when I was able and old enough to, at, I want to say 16 or 17, I was an animal care technician for the Peninsula Humane Society. While I was working there, I was getting my license to become a vet technician. So Foothill, Los Altos. I took my veterinary technician course, got licensed through the state of California. I moved on from being a kennel technician to a vet assistant. They put me in the receiving department for the shelter, which was wonderful and awful. I saw everything. I know every single excuse the human has provided in order to surrender their elder, their kitten, and their perfectly sound animals for no good reasons. But they certainly came up with every good reason on their behalf to surrender the animal. I did see cruelty. I got to see abuse. I got to see neglect. I basically got to see what the human is capable of doing to our animals. I felt I could do better. The shelter basically drained me. I don't want to speak badly about them because just like any association, any organization, the foundation and the thoughts behind it are wonderful, but so long as you have the right people behind them, pushing and driving that machine, it's not going to work. Unfortunately, at the time, we did not have the proper people running that shelter, and I saw devastation. Because we didn't have enough kennel technicians cleaning, we didn't have the vet staff enough to vaccinate and inoculate all these animals. The shelter, gave the cats and the goats. So we saw devastation. So I said, I've had enough. I've had my share. Moved on to just across the freeway to emergency veterinary medicine. Totally different ball game. There I got to see the different end of extreme. These are people who were taking out second mortgages just to save their dog, just to save their cat. I got to see the extreme. I got to see what pain really looked like. I got to see what distress looked like in animals. I learned so much from being at emergency. I said, you know what, the hours are a little weird. Let's try daytime practice minus so many people. So I basically specialized in dentistry. I did that for a good long while. And again, I got a little burnt out on people. And I said, what can I still do that I'm still helping, still treating, still working with animals, but a little less people? And the only two things that came up was training and grooming. I enjoyed that quite a bit, but I knew in my heart of hearts that I should probably be my own boss. So we opened up our brick and mortar for grooming, did that for a good solid 10 years in West Sacramento. Then we converted into mobile. We've been doing mobile for about a good 10 years. So it's very different. It's night and day. The brick and mortar is a completely different clientele than mobile.
Oh, so true. So true.
The sense of urgency, the type of client, even the type of dogs and cats that we see. Some of the clients that still remain with us, because we have to be realistic, it's not everybody's price point to jump from salon prices and expect them to be paying premium price for mobile, but some did. Some really, really benefit from it. Very shy, scared dogs that just couldn't cope with the grooming process. I noticed because we're mobile, they're still doing their job. They're still watching and protecting their home. They felt better. They felt I'm not stealing them. I'm not trying to take them from their parents. We're still here. They're not going anywhere. And they got better. They were able to cope. And the more frequency we kept doing it as mobile, I noticed a difference in these dogs. I love it. I really do love it. It has its own challenges. We have mechanical errors as we speak. As we speak, we're getting ready to put a brand new engine in our mobile van. We went ahead and replaced our generator, I believe, last year. So it's quite a bit of expense. It's being off the road and
Welcome to mobile grooming.
yep.
Do you do dogs and cats still?
I do. I do. I would love to go feline exclusive. We do have the clientele for that, but I cannot. I just cannot part with my 17, 18, 19-year-old geriatric dogs that I've seen since they were 6 weeks old. I absolutely cannot fathom the thought referring them somewhere and something happened. Whether the dog behaves poorly or the groomer behaves poorly and it's not a match, and then I get complaints on so and so did or did not behave like you said he would. You can't predict how the dog or the cat's going to behave for anyone else.
It's worse when you don't know what's going on. So I have an old guy who had Parkinson's. I've done two schnauzers with them, and then I'm on their second set of schnauzers. They named the dogs the same thing, Claire and Klaus. Claire and Klaus. I know. I guess it's easier.
Why do people recycle names?
I don't know.
Why?
I had a client that recycled two dogs and a cat with the name Sunshine.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, how confusing is that? Or how about the cat named Carrot that's a gray tabby? Yeah.
My all-time favorite from names is Teddy Bear. Lady brought in two Shih Tzus. One was Teddy, one was Bear. Okay, ma'am. And they looked identical. Ma'am, which one's which? That one's Teddy and that one's Bear, but they don't know the difference. So just go Teddy Bear, Teddy Bear, Teddy Bear, Teddy Bear, and they'll both come to you.
That's priceless.
What are their names? They have no identity. They're always together anyway. So the dogs could never think independently.
They're joined at the hip forever.
People create that.
They do. They do. So this guy, his wife died. The dogs were the reason he gets up in the morning when he's still in his house. And I'd see his son every now and then. And then I went over there and nobody at the house. And I left my card. And a few days later, I get a call from the daughter who said, oh, Dad's in process of moving into assisted living downtown Seattle, which I can't go with my trailer down there. But I'd be happy to meet them because these dogs had never been done by anybody else, right? Well, I was digging out today's cards and I noticed it's 3 months. They're 2 grooms overdue now. And I don't know what happened to them. And I stupidly did not get her phone number. So now it's a mystery. Anyway, I digress. That was a real left turn.
Indeed.
So tell me some of the things that are different when you're in a shop versus mobile grooming a cat.
Oh, wow. I'm about energy. That is huge. The energy level in a salon is super lively. There's no way to settle anything down unless you're offering all exclusive cat days, which towards the end is what we started doing. We played around with Whisper Wednesdays, Meow Mondays, Feline Fridays, and Catterdays. So it is super hard to try to keep rambunctious dogs quiet. It's not nature, some of them. We did have some sporting field dogs that would come in and they could just smell the cats and just, it's not conducive to what I'm trying to do here. So for me, I find more peaceful being in this type of environment. So that is a huge difference I've noticed in as far as my grooming goes. It's a different energy level. I never feel rushed when I'm mobile. We do offer ourselves a 90-minute window. So that window, we can be late, we can be early. We are really at the mercy of the previous appointment and traffic. People need to understand that we're working with animals, and sometimes people get it and sometimes people don't. If your appointment's at 9 o'clock and you're messaging me at 9:58, where am I? You're not going to be met with a happy Dana.
Oh, that's funny because, my people totally know the earliest. If we're lucky, I'm going to show up at the time I give them, but then pretty much I leave a more or less hour and a half window, 2-hour window.
Yeah.
And I'll text them and let them know I'm coming. I don't want them to get the cat ready before I'm going to get there. So I will generally text them maybe 10 minutes out so they can quarantine the cat, because too many times I've shown up and the cat's under the bed or in a room, or they let it out, heaven forbid. That's just so annoying. How do you avoid that?
So we offer, depending where we are demographically or the client in particular, we'll let them know, hey, we're half an hour. Please put your cat, it's sad that we have to even say that, but please put your cat in a secure carrier prior to our arrival, because we've arrived so many times and we're met at the door like this. There you go. And exactly what he's doing is what the cat's going to do. It's going to flail. It's going to scratch them. It's going to scratch me. And people don't understand. It's dangerous. Well, she doesn't like the carrier. She's going to cry. I don't care. I'd rather her cry than my assistant grab the cat and the 2 steps he needs to take to get into the van, a German Shepherd walks by and rips him out of her hand. Yeah, no, I don't need that type of stress. So I always try to prepare my clients as much as I can. Um, doesn't matter if you're existing client have been with me for years and years, you're always going to get that text 10, 15, 30.
Do you ask any special questions when you're first making a cat appointment?
Absolutely. So my dynamics is a little different. Like I said, I'm all about energy. I like to keep my bubble stress free. I don't like any outside influences to tarnish what I have going on in here. So it's always my assistant that's going to come out and greet the client, whether it's the first time or, like I said, an existing client. Anything we, Susie, it's nice to see you today. Is there anything I need to know about Anchor before we start? Lumps, bumps, abnormalities, or behavior changes since the last time I saw you? And you'll answer yes or no.
He really likes his wand toy, so I thought I'd send that in with you and perhaps a little bit of his food.
So we're moving in. Got it.
Otherwise, no, everything's pretty much the same as last time.
Wonderful. So in that case, I would let the client know that we don't offer treats throughout the entire grooming, but we will certainly treat him if he is able to cope through the grooming process after when we're done. Unless it's something that we've trained, like this guy, I use the lick mat or I use treats to coax him out of the carrier or the box. Never, ever, ever. And I'm guilty, and I can say it because I'm guilty. I used to do it in the vet office as soon as we'd open up the kennel. Shake the cat out of the cage. Guys, it's not a salt and pepper shaker. We shouldn't be trying to get I get it. Time is money, and it takes time to unscrew the carrier apart, but it doesn't take that long. So I always tell folks, please be mindful of the cat. You don't want to start off grooming. I always try to put things in perspective. It's just like us. When you're getting ready for a massage, you're laying completely nude, face down on the table. Now, do you really want somebody who walked into the room, slammed the door,
Probably not.
wanting to put their hands on you? And you're paying good money for that to relax. These people are paying you good money for a luxury service. I'm pretty sure they don't want to see you shimmy a cat out of their carrier. So just be mindful. I'm trying to get groomers to think a little bit differently. Same with scruffing. I see so many vet technicians, veterinarians, groomers, even trainers, when they reach in for the kennel, first thing they're doing is scruffing the cat and dragging the cat out. Nobody wants to start their spa session like that. I wouldn't.
Very true. So, since the first recording and this recording, I've been working with my cats with the lick mat and the churu stuff.
True.
That stuff is amazing. The little tube full of cat treats.
It's crap. Susie, don't get them hooked on it. And you have to change where you store them because they're so smart. Like this guy, he'll start meowing and start clawing at the places in the cabinets that we keep it. So I constantly have to change where I keep the treats.
I have been loading it up, as you would say in clicker terms or whatever. When the mat comes out, the feet get touched, the clippers come out, and the extra special good treat comes out. And it's working really well. I appreciate that. That's a great distraction.
Yay!
As I've aged, my hands, now, hey, people can see my hands. They are really weird looking at this point. I can't hold the cats in the same way I used to hold them for nail trims. So I was hoping you'd give us some tips on getting the nail trims done. And let's start out with this, because this is really fun question. Barbara, at what time do you do cat nails in the process?
In my shop,
Yes.
I do cat nails last.
And in my shop, I do cat nails first. Dana, you're going to bust this wide open for us. When do you do cat nails?
So, for me personally, I like to do nails last. Any person that has experience with cat handling, I'm fine with you doing the nails last. The reason I do nails last is when cats sink their nails into material or flesh, it releases an AMSR response. Also, when they are sinking those nails into material, it is marking. So it is releasing a chemical response into their head, soothing them. So I want that. I want them to feel as comfortable as they can having all of their body parts, having all of their nails. If you are starting out, you're not very familiar with cats, I rather you trim nails first. I don't want you to get hurt. Not until you get the body language down and you feel super comfortable with cats. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing with your tail? Why are your ears doing that? Okay, let's not do that right now. You'll understand why and why not to proceed when and when you shouldn't do that. Just don't mind my deaf cat cooing and serenading. I don't know why he's being so vocal this morning.
Well, one of the things about Zoom is we can't hear Barbara's dogs barking, and we can't hear the other cat. Which cat is on the table, by the way?
Anchor's on the table.
All right. And the other guy's name is Captain. I love your nautical names.
Well, we have Pearl, the toy poodle, so.
Well, Black Pearl, you could, 6 degrees of separation. It's connected.
I call my family full of whites because they're all white. They're all white, and I can't tell anybody apart when they're all running around in the house. I'm all, hey, you, I don't know who's who. And the cats are deaf, so it does me no good anyways to call or shout for anybody. I just look like a lunatic. So for kitty cats and their nail trims, just as yourself, I'm losing dexterity in my hand. For as much as I stretch and I try to take care of myself, I still have strength, just don't have dexterity. So it's difficult for me to maneuver my fingers in and out of the scissor rings on some of these nail trimmers, and they're tiny. And I have sausage fingers, so if it gets past a certain point, it's difficult for me to try to get it off. So I like to use a small dog nail trimmers. I try to scoot the cat as much as I can to my body. So I lower the table where I can. I feel comfortable. And I just, oh, your dad trimmed these. What is going on here?
Surprise. Well, that's okay. Fake it. We can't tell.
I love my husband to death. He is not very hands-on. And I noticed him last night. He was messing with the cats. And I'm like, oh, he's probably just cleaning their eye boogers or something out. And now he's trimming their toenails. Good for him.
Okay, so you're kind of doing a body block. For those of you who are listening and not watching, yeah, she's kind of doing a body block on the kitty, holding it close, almost swaddling it with her own self, and then pulling a foot out.
Yeah. So I want to hold him as close as I can to the crook of my arm. Move over. One leg at a time, one toe at a time. Your dad did a great job. Don't tell anybody. Heaven forbid I ever give that man a compliment. Yeah, he did a great job. So I want just the hook, whatever is the growth of the actual nail. I never want to take it too far back. I don't get hung up on angles where people say, oh, you have to do it at a 45-degree angle. Don't get hung up on the angles. Get hung up on the growth. Just cut it. Seriously, just cut it. A lot of times what we run into is folks who get very scared when you're doing geriatric toenails. They get very thick. And again, like we talked about, cats retracting their nails in and out. Doing this, as you know, or this, is a lot. So your fingers get tired. They get fatigued. You get arthritis. Same with our cat counterparts. They are going to get arthritis in their digits. So you're going to notice cats that are going to have very, very thick nails. So the nail on a cat is like an onion. If they don't shed them by scratching on something, it's going to get very, very thick. So What I normally tell people to do is grab a pair of hemostats and you want to touch just the side or the top. Just touch, just a little bit. And what that does is it crunches it. It crunches the nail and it sloughs that sheath off. So now you're able to see the nail in the true form and how much length you're able to take off. Also, when we're talking about nails, the front nails are more hooked than the back nail. The back nails do not have a severe hook like the front nails do. So the back nails aren't going to grow as quickly as the front nails. So for my guys, since I got them trained, desensitized, I try to file just the back toenails if they don't need nail trim. So training is huge. Turn on your tiny little nail trimmers. And so what I do,
So she's touching the cat all over with I think that's the little Andis one, right?
it's a tiny little anise nail grinder with a diamond head. And I always tell folks if you're going to use a Dremel, on cats especially, you want a diamond head Dremel. Why? Because cat nails, like we talked about, are like an onion. So when you use sandpaper, that grit and that sand you're asking the nail to split. With diamond heads, you have a different surface. So it's nice and smooth. So that there's less chance of splitting that.
Do you Dremel the front and the back or just the back?
Just the back, just the back. And that's so that I make it a little smoother and that I take a little bit of length off. So let's just say there's not enough length to take off with your nail trimmers, but there is enough for the Dremel to off.
What about pad hair? The tufty hair on the bottom of their feet?
Oh my goodness, my favorite. So this gets brought up quite a bit in class. And again, I am fine. I have heard so many different questions from so many different people, from so many different places. I want to remind everybody, we all came from somewhere. We didn't fall out of mom knowing things. We don't already magically know everything. So I get asked a lot, what do I do? Do I shave the bottom? Do I skin them? How do I feel about shaving the bottom of paw pads? Well, for these guys, because they're deaf, they are designed a certain way. Look how fuzzy that foot is.
We just saw toe beans, everybody. If you're missing the toe beans, you have to watch the video.
All kinds of toe beans. So these pads have a lot of coat. That's because the cat is deaf. The cat is trying to receive as much information from the body as it can. So by me shaving those paw pads, I'm doing a disservice to this cat. This cat needs to feel vibration coming from the floor. So for him, I would never shave the bottom of his pads. For him, I wouldn't do that because that's not his design. If I will put an asterisk by this, if you have a cat that is geriatric and is sliding and is hurting themselves trying to jump up on counters, then I would say go ahead and skin. But I would just skin. This is the paw pad, just lightly skin them. I don't want you carving it out like it's a clean foot. That's a great question though. But my point was, don't ever feel ashamed. Ask me anything regarding cats. Don't feel ashamed, don't feel embarrassed. These are all things we need to learn. And certainly different educators are going to have different opinions. So just my opinion.
Again, for your opinion, what about the kitty litter stuck between the toes?
Oh, Susie. So this is usually when clients come to me and they say, just shave the bottom of the foot. He's so messy. He tracks all kinds of stuff everywhere. The litter clumps on the bottom of his foot is not the cat's problem. The litter clumps on the bottom of his foot is not a groomer's problem.
The clip.
This is a owner problem. So exactly, Barbara. This is more of a hygiene thing. So because of the beauty of mobile, and I'm at their house, I will go as far as ask the client to bring out their box. And the look on their face, well, I've been really busy this morning and I haven't had a show me the box. But I haven't had a chance to show me your box and the condition it's in right now. Huge mound of savings in this tiny little box. And it just seems like people pour new litter on top of old litter. Please don't do that. Please, please, please don't do that. So I will take it a step further and ask the client, how often do you flush the toilet after using it? Susie, how often do you flush after you use?
I'm generally a flush every time. My Uncle Bob, he was a if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. I can't really get behind that. So much so
He sounds like he's from California.
New York, but still.
I get that. It's gross. But seriously, you go potty, you flush. Please do the same for your cats. If they go potty, flush for them. They don't have opposable thumbs. Well, it's just we have kids and we have this. I get it. You're busy. You can't be bothered to flush your own companion animal's toilet. I get it. Guess what? They have automated boxes now. They have things that can help you, that can aid you in cleaning their boxes and keeping them fresh. There's one.
Well, maybe you were going to come to this. In my experience with the litter sticking, part of it can be due to buying the cheapest litter.
Barbara's so smart. This is why I love Barbara. Barbara and her beautiful brain. Yes, there's nothing on the planet that says you have to stay on Tidy Cat. Tidy Cat is the grossest litter. It leaves their coat really wrecked. It doesn't clump. It doesn't smell nice. And I can guarantee you when you have people over, they know you're going to have cats. So when people say, I don't like, here, and I'll pan so you can see what I'm doing because it gets a laugh when I do it in class. So when we get a client that comes in and they say, I don't like the litter because it gets, and they do this cricket thing with the bottom of their feet, trying to clean the bottom of their foot on their pant leg. Yeah, they get litter everywhere and I can't stand it. Guess what, ladies? There's weighted litter. There's pearls. There are recycled paper pellets. There are pine pellets. There are all kinds of variations of cat litter. You do not have to get stuck on the clumpable kind. And for God's sakes, please, 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 if out of anything today, your only take home, stop buying scented litter. Stop buying scented litter. Again, it's not for them. It's for you. You are trying to mask a problem that you're creating by not cleaning the box. If you're using plastic litter boxes, remember plastic is porous, and unless you're soaking it in really, really cleaning it, you're never truly getting it clean. So stainless steel boxes are the way to go. If you can afford it, get automated boxes. If you, like for these guys, because they're freaking Snow White, the dirtiest part of them is the back of their hocks and their paws. So I have to buy a paper litter so that the bottom of their pads don't stain, so that the cat itself does not stain.
Especially when they're famous cats and they're on video and up in person all the time. Everyone's constantly judging you, I'm sure, about the quality of the clean of the back feet. Hey, let's take a quick break and then let's come back and talk cat drying.
Show Season has a great enzymatic cleaner called Kennel Fresh. And you dilute it with warm water and it smells good, and then it evaporates to be a deodorant. As the Kennel Fresh dries, it's enzymatic, it eats the bacteria and the odor source. So it's really good stuff. You can use it indoors or out.
Find it at your local distributors or showseasongrooming.com.
The GroomPod and Precision Sharp would like to invite you to check out the newest precise cut shear called Lynx. Its patented design features a thumb ring that slides the length of the handle for perfect ergonomic placement of your thumb. Slide it, lock it into place, and get your best grooms on. Check it out at PrecisionSharp.com. Look out, here it comes. It's your mobile moment. One of the hardest things I find as a mobile groomer who does cats is getting them dry. And I need some tips, tricks, and techniques that you can share with us about getting the cats dry.
Well, first things first is keeping us safe. And if you're working by yourself, I strongly recommend getting a groomer's wall. So basically it is a butcher block that gets attached to your table, 2 clamps. If I can do this right. 2 clamps go back here and clamp this L-shaped butcher block to your table. I normally use this so I don't have to reach for my cat when I'm blow drying. And if this is a shy kitty cat that does not want to be exposed to everything, all you notice is that they're trying to just scramble or get away from you, do a little TP, cover their face if they need to.
For those listening and not watching, Dana's taken the towel and she's flipped it over the groomer's wall and then draped it across the front of her table so that the cat has a tent, and then she covered the cat's head. And now she's pretending to blow dry the cat. Or she probably is blow drying the cat, but I can't hear it.
And the
No,
cat
not blow
came
drying
out
the cat.
of the tent.
He loves the blow dryer.
Yeah,
Again, because they're deaf kitty cats. So if you don't have the groomer's wall, that's okay. Just give them something that they can hide behind or hide in, and it definitely helps with the grooming process or drying process. Otherwise, what I do, grab a towel, spin it.
She's twisting it up. She's twisting it up as if you were going to snap somebody in the butt in the locker room. Getting it all twisted up, and now she's making a wreath or a donut with the twist.
Donut. So then you have your little shy kitty cat, if it was smaller, and it will tuck itself in that little donut. I've also seen groomers use old cardboard boxes, very shallow cardboard boxes. The cat gets in that box, and they're trying to blow dry that kennel. I have gone as far as using the bottom half of their carrier to dry them. It does absolutely nothing. It doesn't help me, but it does in a way, but it doesn't hurt the situation. It doesn't inflame how scared they're becoming. If anything, this is mine. I feel comfortable. I just want to scooch in my box.
And there's top loading cat kennels that are really good because that offers a little bit more on the top, but you can still get the hose in there and do your drying, and the cat thinks it's in its crate. I love the top loading crates because it can solve a lot of problems. Getting cats in and out. I just flashed on that, gee, my top loader would be a good cat drying accessory.
We talked about squirrely cats that all they want to do is jump off the table, having some way to confine them or corral them into one spot. If you just have a cat that, I have them. I have geriatric cats that have groomed beautifully their entire lives, and then right when they hit a certain age, their threshold is not the same anymore. Their nerves are shot. They just absolutely, their health is compromised at that point. So what I do just to get them dry, because as you know, cats derive from the desert, so they can tolerate higher temperatures than our dog counterparts can. What I do, I towel dry them the best I can, and I use a small dog coat. In this particular case, I use a thunder jacket.
Yeah.
So I grab a small towel, I put it on my kitty cat, and then because I used warm water, because the body temperature is up, I go ahead and tightly place this jacket. So now it becomes a drying jacket.
So do you have the towel underneath or just right on the cat?
I would wrap the cat as tight as I can in the towel and then put this just to secure the cat. in his little jacket. And clearly, because it's made for a dog, it looks like a midriff. I'm working on something that we can have a cat appropriate drying jacket. But you'll also notice it forces him to sit still. He just went ahead and laid down because that is also the same effect that the true intention of the drying jacket is now being met. Also, if you have a squirmy, not so much nervous, but I'm very inquisitive. See what's going on. These are wonderful and it's safe. It's called a trach saver and it's by the same folks who make the groomer's wall. So it's basically a bra. You want to put the button on the back. So it's like this. These go through the front armholes like this. And it is not putting any pressure on the trachea or on the chest plate. So now you have your cat that you have a little bit better control over, but you're not hurting his neck and you're not hurting his throat. Probably, I almost now a year, I would have been fine with the figure eight, 2 slip leads put together to make a figure eight for the cat to restrain the cat until I saw a video from a student. She had no idea why a cat that she had seen for such a long time flipped out. And I said, do you have video? She says, I do. Send it to me. So we both watched it and we saw exactly what happened. So the slip leads have a little ring. That ring fed the long coat through. And so when the cat turned, that coat fed through the ring and pinched the cat right on the back. In turn, the cat reacted, redirected, and went after the groomer because the cat believed that the groomer was hurting her. So from then on, I stopped recommending figure eights and slip leads for restraint.
Especially when there's something as nice as a trach saver. Before, when you didn't have it.
Yeah, that's what I tried telling groomers. We're so spoiled. We are so, and I'm glad I'm in the company I'm with because you guys can back me up on this. We didn't have 15 to 30 different shampoos for different coat types. We didn't have clippers, corded, cordless, chargeable, docking charges, Dremel. We didn't have all of these wonderful, wonderful luxury items. That's why it kind of, and I'm really sorry, I'm going to lose some friends saying it. It drives me bananas when people still use dish soap for grooming. Unless you're washing your equipment with dish soap, I don't find that there's any good reason to put dish soap on an animal. There's degreasers, there's all kinds of things at your fingertips that you can use. And there's really no good reason to be using dish soap, in my opinion.
It's not like dish soap is going to hurt anything, but there's so many better options.
Right.
That's right.
And I feel like it brings our professional level up if we're using professional tools in a professional setting.
I agree with that, says the girl who drives the 2006 trailer that looks like crap.
Stop.
It's okay. I'm fine. I'm wash and wear. That's just who I am. What about the cat that decides to use its mouth?
Ew. I hope not.
I know. Me too. But, sometimes you get one of those.
Thank goodness, knock on wood, I have not been, let me think about it. I have not been severely bit by a cat. That has put me out of commission. First things first, it drives me bananas when people say, that's why I stopped grooming cats. When people ask for opinions or people ask for help on public forums and somebody chimes in and says, that's why I don't groom cats, I got bit really bad once. Well, have you ever been bit by a dog? Yeah. Are you still grooming dogs? Yeah. So where's the logic? Yes, I understand that cat bites can end our career, but so can dog bites. The dog bite is intended to crush, break and crush. The cat bite is intended to cut and sever. So small rodents and things like that, the design of the actual cat tooth is like an arrowhead. It's like a spear. because it wants to go in between the vertebrae of the rodent and sever the spine or end it right there. Same with the saliva. When the cat bites, those teeth are designed for that saliva to get into that hole, to get into that bite. It's intended. That is their design. We're never going to fight nature on that. So I always tell folks, just be prepared. It's not a matter of how it's going to happen, but when it's going to happen. I never, ever, ever wish harm on anybody, but just please be prepared. It drives me nuts when people go, what do I do? I got bit. Does this look like I need to go to the doctor's today? Go! You should have gone yesterday. First things first, clean it. So I always say the biggest bottle of betadine that you could find, always keep on hand. Betadine with a B, not iodine, because again, somebody misheard me in class, purchased iodine, and I got a nasty letter. It burns. Why does it burn? Seriously, you think that I asked you to pour alcohol or something on it? No. No, betadine. Soak it in betadine, scrub it, and that's to clean it. Stop what you're doing. Do not continue grooming. I say that because there's so much dust. There's so much loose hair particles still flying around. I get it. I'm tough. I just want to muster through it. I'm just going to finish the rest of my day. Don't do it. 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 Go home that night. Soak it in Epsom salt. What's that? That is now counting as anti-inflammatory. You don't want that to get swollen. That same night when you go home, call your doctor. Let them know your profession and let them know what's happened. They can't see you right away, but hopefully they can call antibiotics into the pharmacy right away so you can start on antibiotics. That's super, super, super important. It's basically a prophylactic. I don't care if it is infected or not infected. Let's not let that happen. I don't want that to happen. Cat bites are definitely a real thing in our profession if we groom cats, but we definitely have to be prepared. Be honest with the client, let them know, hey, your cat bit. What'd you do to my cat? I don't know. Unless your cat will tell me, I don't know. I don't know what set off your cat.
I have a couple of things to add in on that. I totally agree with you that betadine is your go-to disinfectant when you get bit by a cat or a dog. And alcohol is the worst thing that you can use because
Hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah, and hydrogen peroxide will degrade the skin tissue around the wound. A lot of people automatically run for the hydrogen peroxide or just have alcohol at the tub and do that, and that just hurts like hell. And
well, Barbara, it's so cool to watch.
Yeah,
It's isn't it? It's science, isn't it? Doing stuff.
And then the other thing that I would add is that, did you say Epsom salt? I said I would soak in Epsom salt because they draw the icky out of the wound, and you want to keep that wound open overnight if you can, because one of the problems with cat bites and rat bites, by the way, is that the teeth are so fine that the wound closes up real quick, and then that allows for infection underneath the surface of the skin, and you don't want that. So you really want to kind of allow that to drool overnight. And
no, absolutely.
I think Epsom salts is one of our greatest friends. I mean, it's good for us. It's good for the animals. It's non-toxic, and it will really help enable healing to occur.
And back in the day, it also used to help us poop.
Good to know.
Yeah, right. They can do that too.
I don't want to date myself, but yeah.
And you soak your feet in it. Oh my God, so good. You know, but that's another episode. By the way, we should do that.
Things that help us go poop.
Yeah.
Well,
sure.
yeah.
Why not? I always like to bleed it after I get bit. I just kind of encourage it to flush it a little bit.
Squeeze it a little bit. I do that too. And that immediately helps to get rid of a little bit of the
Yes, I
poison.
would say okay for other folks. I'm not going to go into it, but because of my own health, I have to be careful. I bruise super easy, so that's not an option, even though I would love to do it. But yeah, I would
Ouch!
probably make a purple lemon on my hand if I try to squeeze it.
For those listening, Barbara.
I'm showing my forearm.
Oh my
I'm
God.
showing my forearm where my small little Maltese climbed across my arm to get from my lap to the bed. That's all it took to do that. It looks like I've been mauled or something. That's what happens when you get to be over 80 years old. Your skin just, man.
Barbara, I'm not 80.
I know. Well, it's going to get worse. That's all I can say. Take care of it now because there's nothing I can do. I haven't found a lotion or a potion. I bump into a wall and I've got an open bruise.
If it's not our body, it's the medication that we're on that makes our blood so thin. Well, it is what it is. It's to be on the medication and keep us alive and be all bruised and battered up.
And truthfully, I'm on blood thinners, but this was happening before I was on Eliquis.
All right. Well, I'm just a bleeder, not a clotter. So I just bleed. I do. Here's something that happened the other day. I had my fancy new precision sharp lynx shears, and I was preparing to scissor a dog, and I had the scissor open just at the moment he hit my elbow, and I went into my finger with the scissors, and I cut the top and the bottom of my finger. Whoa! And I bled.
Just gushing.
Yeah, everywhere. Just everywhere. It's like I hit both sides of the arteries on either side of my finger and just went nip.
It would just be the chef's kiss. I'm sure you were dealing with a white dog on the table as well.
Absolutely. Of course. Yeah.
Because it never fails. It never fails. You have a white dog, you quick them, or you have red nail polish on, or something that's going to catch your eye and you're going to freak out and go, oh my God, is that his or mine? Is that his or mine?
Yes, absolutely. This has been amazing. So, for everyone listening, go to the GroomPod website, thegroompod.com, and Dana is going to give us a series of really cool links for discounts from all of the people that she reps for. So, I'm going to stick that up. I stuck it up before, but I'll stick it up again. And one last thing. I know you use soft paws a lot. Tell us about your soft paws.
Okay. Well, I happen to have them out. Before I forget, because I did forget last time, if you do have a lot of clients on soft paws and you're frustrated by the glue because it always dries out, you only use it the one time, pro tip, put it in the refrigerator. It's going to last you longer. It's not going to dry out. But if you are in a pickle and all you have are large soft paws, that's okay. Don't freak out. I'm here to help you. So I'm going to use a little colored one just so you guys can see. Also, I never want to hear, because I have long acrylic nails, I can't do soft paws. Baloney. Grab a pair of hemostats. Grab the tip. See how I have that? So these are large. And I'm going to custom fit them. Boom. Now you got a small. And you can go ahead and apply. Again, my finger's not working. Go ahead and apply your glue. You still have it on the hemostat, and apply that on there. I love, love, love soft paws. I can't say enough good things about it. But just like every other tool, product, anything, shampoo, anything, if you do not follow directions and do not use it for its intended purposes, yes, things can go wrong. If you overfill these with glue and you go to put them on and don't pull the sheath back on the actual nail, yes, it will adhere to the sheath of the nail and the cat can now no longer retract nails. That is inappropriate use of what it was intended for. So I always tell folks, preload all of your caps first. Load them up with glue. Let them sit there. Then go back and trim your cat's toenails. By the time you're ready to go ahead and put the glue caps on your nails, the glues become tacky. So it's going to adhere a lot faster and better. It's going to bond to the nail better. Um, my grooms include the soft paws. So when clients figure out, oh, well, shoot, Dana, if I'm already paying for it, I want it. Of course you do. So when they see the fun sparkly purple for Halloween, or red and green for Christmas, or red for Valentine's Day, whatever, and one pops off, the client is going to notice. And sorry to say, some of these housewives that all they have to do is watch the grass grow and their soft paws pop off, they're going to call you. Dana, I have company coming over and she's missing one. Can you come over and do a fresh set? And I put my little ambulance fire blinker on the top of the van. Woo woo, it's an emergency. I gotta replace this lady's soft paws. So people get it. People understand, wow, I have company over. My cat didn't scratch them. My furniture looks great because they're not all scratched up. They're wonderful. And it's fun because they come in different colors. I think people love that the most. People love taking pictures of their cats and, oh my God, I changed their soft paws. They're pink.
I love that the most. What I love the least is getting them back off. So can you give me some tips for that?
So I always want you to think about soft paws like a straw, a very brittle straw. So if you cut the very tip, you now have a complete straw where there's a little bit of air that goes through. And again, like we talked about, the nail is like an onion. It's a very brittle onion. So when you touch it, it should pop off. If it does not pop off with ease, just take more length off of the nail. Take a little bit off, you're just shaving a little bit off the tip and it should pop off. If it doesn't, continue shaving a little bit more off until it does pop off. But when we're applying these soft paws, we do have to remember you have to have some type of length. If you take them back so short like you would for a normal nail trim, there's nothing for them to stick to. So they're not going to last as long and you're going to have a client go, Susie, you were just here. Why didn't they stick?
You make me want to try soft paws again. I tried soft paws about 4 times on my own cats, and I would come to the shop, my shop cats. I would come to the shop the next day, and there'd be little teeny soft paws here and there and everywhere around the shop. They just like would work it until they got them off. I like the idea of allowing it to get tacky before you put it
Just
on,
a little
because
bit.
then you don't have to hold the cat paw while the soft paw adheres.
Because his brother's that way. Captain, as soon as you put them on,
Yeah, that's
straight into his mouth and he's trying to pull them off. And it's your little brat. He knows. He knows when the soft paws get put on, oh, we're going somewhere. Oh, the luggage is out. I got groomed. The soft paws are on. We're definitely going somewhere, brother. Where are we going? Right at the 3-week mark, they get very, very stir crazy. So from October until the beginning of February, we have to plan trips, whether it's small, short car rides, taking them in their stroller to go to brunch wherever we're accepted and not shoot away like the plague. We have to take them. It's enrichment. They're used to a certain type of lifestyle, so we have to conform as well. It's constant training. It's just like your dog. You don't train your dog and expect him to behave and have that level the entire way of his life. No, he's going to constantly push you and push boundaries. So is a cat. So you have to continue training with the cat, which I know isn't for everybody, but this is my life and this is part of my business. And it makes my husband really sad when I say that these are not companion cats. These cats were purchased with the intention to help me with my career, to help educate. So although I love them, yes, I wish I could hold them and they're super affectionate, but they're not. They're not snuggly cats. They're like nothing I've ever owned my entire life, and I've had cats my entire life. But gosh darn it, for grooming, they're incredible. They let me do anything I need to frontwards and backwards. And I think when we first met in Atlanta, you saw it made me crack up because you guys called it the chariot. This lady with this white cat in this chariot just floated over to. I never thought I'd be described as that, but I guess. So yeah, if you see a baby stroller with a really fuzzy white baby, that's me.
So awesome.
That's me. I'm the only ding dong walking around a dog show with cats.
And if you're looking for her and for some heaven forbid reason you can't find her, which I can't imagine how you could not find her, where are the places that people can go to contact you?
Oh wow. So I always, anytime you've ever taken any of my classes, whether they're online or in person, I always give out my personal phone number, which I'll do the same with you guys. I'll give you my personal phone number and my personal email. I am available all the time, all the time. My friends on the East Coast laugh because they're like, "Do you ever sleep?" And I go, "I do, but I have to use the bathroom and the phone comes with me. So that's when I do most of my work is in my office." I'm always available, whether it's cat related or not. And I know we're joking around, and this podcast is intended to be light, but I think it's important that I mention why. I always offer my information out because I have run into other groomers that feel like they're alone. Nobody understands them. Their mental health is slipping through their fingers and they feel alone. So when you feel at your darkest, if you feel like you have no one, reach out to me. I don't have kids. This is the only thing I got going on. Grooming is my life. Educating is a big portion of that, but no one is going to understand you better than your fellow groomers. And if I haven't experienced it or lived through it, I know someone who has. And I will definitely refer you to someone or a friend that I know has gone through this same experience that can help guide you through. But that is huge to me, that I don't want any one groomer to ever think that they're alone or they have no one.
That's part of the reason we do this show, actually, is for all the people who groom by themselves and forget that there's a whole 30, 40,000 of us out there who share things in common like anal glands and collapsing tracheas and all the stuff that we deal with all the time that is so specific and unique to our industry. So you can find Dana on Facebook. You can find her at the grooming shows. You can find her on her telephone in the bathroom.
Let's not share that picture. Yeah.
I do that too. I answer the phone in the bathroom. I confess.
Okay, I don't, but I know when Barbara does, I can hear the echo and I just pretend she's not.
I always warn, I mean, my husband calls it toilet texting, and it is what it is. I rarely answer the phone. I always tell people, message me first. Let me know how we met so I don't treat you like a client, because I do share that line with the business. But when the cats are crying or I hear knocking on the bathroom door, it's like, oh, shoot, my legs are numb. I probably should get going.
Yeah, your legs fall asleep. Speaking of which, I gotta go. So let's wrap this up.
Let's do it. Thank you, Dana, for being here. And I'm
course.
really excited because we're still recording. So I feel pretty good about this one. Thanks for being here. Thank you to our wonderful sponsors. And like I say, we'll put up Dana's sponsors so you guys can reap the rewards of getting a discount from all of the great people who back her up. And happy grooming, everyone. See you next week on the GroomPod. Bye-bye now.
Take care of yourselves because we love you.
Oh.